right, what a rigmarole this was. So I got hold of a tractor spline, put the motor on the bench, strapped it down, used that as a lathe, filed that out, cut that off, which was on another piece down here somewhere. There it is. So it was a 6 spline, but it was a 1/3/8, which is too fucking big. But this one had a keyed shaft. It was 25mm key shaft, not 25.4, so I needed 0.4 to be able to shave off the crankshaft, and I also shaved a little bit on here too. So it seems to be even. So waiting for the adapter to come. It's about 142 from here. So it's bolts on those big bolts. And then if that's enough, I can then slot that in. As you can see, the more in, the better. But if I have to, I can pull that spline out, unloosen this off, pull the spline out. There is a key in there as well, which helps it. But this, I'll wind in, once I get the right width, I'll wind it in tight, cut that off, and then I'll put I'll thread a little tap in there if I have to. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm not going to pull a ton off. So that's what you do to make shit work, because you don't have the right fucking tools. Because a 25.4 keyed shaft, which this one is, going to a 9 spline SAE A PTO spline, you think you'd be able to find those connections? Man, what a fucking rigmarole. Through the internet, onto the Indian bloody sites and Chinese sites and you name it, man. It was friggin' diabolical. And an angle grinder, you made it work, right? And that's what you have to do. Also, let's have a look at the out there mowing the lawn yesterday. So I'm out there mowing the lawn, and it's a little bit wet, right? So the lawn's long, which you shouldn't do anyway. So the belt decides to fuck out and rip off and the dig belt. Right, so we order a new dig belt. They're only $25, right? Yeah, it's all cool. It's going to be here next Monday, something like that. And then you pull the deck off, have a look at the deck. You got a few little problems you have with the wheels get smashed all the time. So I re-welded them on, and they were a bit tacked and shit. So I cleaned them off as much as I could and re-welded it. And then you go to the spindle, the first spindle, bearing disappeared. This one sounds like me on a Sunday morning getting out of bed, so she's pretty bad. And then these ones don't sound too flash either. I haven't got those, but I've got the new spindles coming. So hopefully those hold up. The bearings hold up, otherwise, yeah. I wonder if she was so noisy tomorrow. But yeah, I've got a few things to do. As you can see, this here needs to be straightened out, so I'll bash that out with the whole front of that. It's hitting big logs and things, trying to move them. But I'll straighten that out, tidy up the edge, and then I'll have a look. I'll put some beading across the bottom to protect that, because that was split. So I may put some extra piping, weld that in, just to give it a bit of support around those sides and around this side here, which is always a bit of a pain. It's been tacked up once before, so I've just got to grind that down. The other side's been done. It should be alright. It doesn't have the blades. And then I'll sharpen up the blades. Another set of blades, and I'll sharpen them up. And then they should run even with 2 new spindles. And then those pulleys, obviously they don't have as much pressure on them as the spindle does. But yeah, I'm just praying that they're okay, because you can buy them as a set. It's obviously just scratching there once I take the chain off. Yeah. So that's it. PTO, which has been doing my fucking head in for you don't know how long. I had to whack that on with a rubber mallet, so hopefully I didn't fucking do anything to that sealer in there. That'll be my fucking next problem. So this is a 16 horsepower petrol engine for the digger. So the beauty of this is a shitload lighter. It's smaller, well, it's slightly smaller, it's not as tall. Everything, so I've got a cable, I've hooked up a cable thing to go in here so I can run off my digger, of the digger control. I'll leave the pulley on there because the problem with the last one is it had a vent on here, dirt got inside it, rocks, and then blew a hole through the side of the engine. So yeah, so that's it. It goes back in exactly the same place apart from the footing. The footing I've re-drilled, and then they'll sit on top of the engine mounts, which won't be on a plate anymore. They'll just be straight bolted through on those. So hopefully that's good enough. I'll drive around the corner to fall out. The only other problem, well, it's not a problem, but yeah, you have to take the back off, or the back will stay off because the back has to be redesigned because this sits out slightly. And then, so the back cover won't be there. So I've got to look at the back cover and see what I have to do to it. I may have to just, cut some pieces out and then put a couple of straps on or something. I'll grill the grill on there and bend it out. This here is in a different place. So that on the other ones here, which is a pain in the ass too, it's got a cap, but I can still get to that. I can still put my hand in, undo it, put the old housey father in there and whatchamacallit. And the next thing will be the hydraulic cable pipe inlet comes really close to that and then goes into there. So that may get a bit hot. So I have to put a shield around it, another shield around the pipe. It's only the angle part of the aluminium, but it's probably not a good idea. And then I want to try and get an exhaust pipe that hooks up to here that actually comes out through the grill and then up the side and get rid of the whole muffler. So if it comes out of there, it'll come straight out the top of there, or it comes out of there and then just go straight out. So then it gets rid of that problem completely, and then it's muffled a hell of a lot better too. So that's my plan. I've just got to get somebody to make that up, pipe up. Well, I can do it myself, I suppose, but my MIG welder's not that perfect yet. So let's hope that all stays together and doesn't want to disappear. So the key feels like it's in there. Good, so that's good. And then that was just perfect. So that'll hold that spline and it'll hold that centre spline in there just perfectly. So long as it's got enough give. See, that'll be the other thing. I'm going to have to spin it. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'll probably have to spin it and strap that down, give it enough move, and if that wobbles, I might be in a bit of trouble. So I'm going to have to, because that'll wear the crankshaft seal and that eventually, so I have to check it. So the best thing to do would be to, the inside shouldn't wobble, Well, it's hard to say really. I'll probably just have to run it, spin it, and then see whether that is going to run up or not. Because if that moves and that goes up and down, we're in trouble here. I was thinking I'll file this off, which is no problem, and get that running straight, but the inside has to run straight. It should run straight because I haven't done any real adaptations to that side. It's just whether or not that's on. So let's just fucking hope that works. Shit, I'm gonna have to start it up again and see. Anyway, as you can see, it's just sweat dripping off here. That's what happens here in Queensland.